we're finally logged in to Apex Legends Legacy to start looking at the Legacy Antigen. I was pretty interested to see Crypto is the supporting second character for this season, as you see in the load screen. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on this season. Caustic storyline just sort of wrapped up, so it makes a lot of sense to then sort of build that into Crypto. We had the Icarus ship getting hacked to cause the incident we see before us. So again, briefly just before I actually jump into the chapter, the mysterious fleet of abandoned ships, okay, city under siege by nature itself, the people they love with only hours to live, follow the legends as they hunt the cure every Tuesday, and then follow-ups on the Apex Legends Twitter. So that's possibly up to 22 chapters this season. That is a hell of a lot. And this is only the prologue. This is also amazing to see. To see that Gel has managed to move from community-ized into actually making art for the in-game comics. Congratulations, Gel, that is amazing to hear. So, 15 pages. Oh, yes, awesome. And they're going with sort of like a visual novel style. Today is the day I finally become famous. Last night, with no warning, Olympus's computerized terraformation systems initialized the shift of multiple sectors of the floating city to allow a fleet of 15 ships to dock, starting with the Icarus. Within minutes, impossibly large Medusa Vines broke through the ship's hulls and overtook the city, destroying power grids, water mains, and even buildings by sunrise. Awesome. It shouldn't matter. The city's been uninhabited for years, and has only been used as an arena for the Apex games. Until this week. Okay. And look, the Syndicate has opened Olympus to the public for a dedication ceremony to honor the legend Pathfinder for his heroism upon learning he saved the Outlands. That's public knowledge now? Shh. Okay. Thousands of innocent people have come from all over to attend this celebration of life, just in time for death to come calling. Okay, this is even more suspect than it first appeared. My name is Angela Fazia, or Fazia, and today I make history. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Angela Fazia is the reporter who interviewed Bangalore, but she also, we learn, I think, from Pathfinder's quest, that when Caustic joined the games, she was actually already suspicious of him being Alexander Knox. I'm pretty confident that that's who this is. And we see her arrive. Angela Fazia, investigative journalist. Grace Rasheed, director of security. Miss Fazia, the Icarus is this way. These aren't your average Medusa Vines. Fire, bullets, even liquid nitrogen don't do a damn thing. They're indestructible, and they just keep growing. Follow me. Who's the owner? Don't know. Serial numbers were scratched off. Crew? Dead. How? Does my badge say lead mortician? I'm out. If the floor starts to give, I'd run. You're leaving me? What's more important than this? My job. Lock up when you leave. Come on, Ange. It's just a tree, that's all. And this is just a flower. And this is... new paint job. Scratched off serial numbers. No cams. Someone's covering up the identity of the fleet's owner. What's so important about today? Isn't it obvious? Today's the day I die. Oh, nice. Today I stop being Angela, and I get a new name. Love the look in the eyes there. Why can't I breathe? Patient Zero. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. I'm just the first of many. A fatal allergen infects an empty city the same week thousands of people are allowed in. That's no accident. I'd stake my life on it. If I had one left. Oh, damn. They'll give it their all. Attempt to stop this thing. If they succeed, they'll be more than heroes. That's the stuff that legends are made of. Damn. Okay. So this is obviously... We knew this was an inside job of a form, but seeing exactly how orchestrated this has apparently been. So we docked the Icarus, the Medusa Vines. Apparently there is a voice line from Valkyrie mentioning that these vines are familiar to Typhon, which backs up them being sort of familiar to the plants on Exoplanet. Typhon is the only other place we saw anything similar. Caustic talks about the spores, but not tying correlation to causation. A few of the voice lines seem quite interesting for this season, tying to this. And this is something I didn't expect, that the city has been reopened, and someone evidently doesn't want the city to be reopened. I'm surprised that Pathfinder's quest has become like public knowledge, that he distributed Branthium across the Outlands like many, many years ago. But the Syndicate are being like publicly open about it. Then you've got an investigative journalist digging maybe a little too close to this. Is Octane's dad involved? That his actions trying to attack the other prominent families, at least still down in Malta, who probably would have come back up to Olympus at some point? Is that what's going on here? Do Ash's codes, like her numerical codes, have anything to do with this? Is this being controlled from the very top, or is it someone more in the cast of legends, like, hey, Crypto, who might have been able to hack into it to change what it was doing? If the Syndicate was celebrating, someone acting against the Syndicate, that would kind of fit Crypto. So then Angela turns up, and then Grace Rasheed takes her to see the Medusa Vines that apparently are not your average, indestructible and just keep growing. Makes me wonder yet again if they've been bioengineered, and this is not like a natural reaction. I do love the art style here. Again, well done to Gel for being sort of brought in fully to the fold to do this sort of thing. This is a good use of her hard work and talent, that is. I love the sort of emotions you get out of her faces as well. Stark lines, and she does sort of eyes really well as well. And her jawline's always really recognizable. You can usually tell it's Gel's art. Glad to see this. I wonder if the artist will change across the rest of the season, or if Gel has managed to do the whole thing. And then the community comics will be where different people get to put their spin on things. Interesting. The floor starts to give I'd run. Wonder if, like, by the end of the season, if the plant consumes the whole of the Icarus, and there's no actual carrier by next season. What's more important than this? My job. Is this a setup? Like, has she been made Patient Zero? Are we being given this over the shoulder for some reason to indicate someone else had a hand in this? But no, she starts bleeding basically immediately, and from the eyes, God. I like that we're getting this sort of post-mortem narration as well. But if she got poisoned being in here, how are we as the legends theoretically able to just go in here and survive? How did it happen so quickly after Grace left? It feels like a bit of a setup. There may be people being killed off by some other agent to be, like, fed to the plant? Is this like an Audrey 2 situation? I would love that. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, it is calling it an allergen. Obviously, or the legacy antigen. So it seems either we've got a biological hazard on the scene that I assume the hacker wanted to release, and the Icarus was maybe being brought back to contain and then used for something. I do wonder again if these black roots have anything to do with Branthium, or speeding up or changing biological processes, and how you then get different characters involved for what reason. And again, we've got characters like Caustic who might have some kind of solution to this, but might have kind of an interest in keeping the plant around. Ugh. But yeah, the fact that this has happened the same week thousands of people are allowed in, that is some new context to this that makes it ever more key as to why it's happened, and that there is a saboteur that has done this for a very specific reason. Not just for the plant itself, but for what it means to the Outlands. Like, is this someone trying to further cover up or mess with the knowledge about Pathfinder saving the Outlands? Why did the Syndicate want to tell anyone about that when part of that story is all about Ash's betrayal? We've got Ash with the arenas. Okay, Ash could definitely have a part in this. I was wondering about her anyway. Like, attacking Olympus specifically fits Ash's background, at least as Dr. Reid. Bringing her in just to the arenas feels like a little too removed compared to how focal this story is evidently going to be. And yeah, killing off Angela is also kind of interesting in the sort of things that she knew. She was maybe like slightly sensationalist as a journalist, but some of the things that she was delving into were evidently like quite big elements of the Outlands that maybe some people didn't want known. Digging into the IMS Hestia accident with Bangalore and her brother, the report that she'd found the original Dr. Hammond, and then backing up Victor Maldera's theories about Caustic being Alexander Knox. Maldera was mentioned last season and hasn't turned up at all. I imagine we might see him come into a storyline like this with a Patient Zero with a murder mystery to solve, right? Especially as he's just on the Psamathe surface down in Malta. Makes me wonder if the Party Crashers map will feature somehow, because that seems to be on Psamathe as well. There are a ton of threads that you could work into this storyline from here. I mentioned in my video about the Icarus Fleet and the lore we knew before Season 9 that Lifeline would make a lot of sense as a character to mess with this plant for sort of more the ecological benefits that it could provide. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe we've got a few alliances among the legends to discover. Again, sort of Broken Ghost, Mystery Mole situation again. But yeah, as Angela herself raises the kind of point as we get further in here, that it all feels way more than just a coincidence. There's definitely a political angle to the releasing of the roots. And I wonder if the name Medusa Vines means anything, whether it can turn things to stone, or whether it's going to be able to form like a more permanent structure on Olympus beyond this. Yeah, this spells big things. As we saw at the beginning, there's 11 in-game chapters to be read, and then theoretically there's going to be 11 community comics released on Twitter as well. So yeah, this season's story has got a lot going down. I do like that they've drawn attention to Bangalore's knife here after having dropped the getting in her business short last season involving Wraith. Because as a final thing to sort of like see us out here, I did see yes, I had seen in one of the Gaming Merchants videos that this was the name of a Valkyrie loading screen. One of my theories regarding Valk's time on Typhon is that she managed to procure some Branthium to make a high-speed interstellar jump between Typhon in the Frontier and the Outlands. Something that we learn in Bangalore's chapter from Pathfinder's Quest, that going from Gridiron to the Outlands should take 20 years, and they managed to do so with, again, another high-speed interstellar jump. Just makes me wonder if Valk and Bangalore are going to start offering each other some sort of answers to the kinds of questions that they both might have regarding Branthium and high-speed interstellar travel. Just to give you another storyline that's going to be sort of flowing through this season, maybe off into the future as well. This could just be a tiny hint for further storylines that they're going to build into. So, as it stands, it seems we have a murder mystery on our hands, and a saboteur behind the scenes who loosed the plant for their own political gains. The murder of Angela Fazia evidently will not be the first, as we meet Patient Zero, and it does seem quite fitting that she takes a bunch of secrets with her to the grave. Seems there's evidently much more to this story than first meets the eye, right? And as I say that, we notice that the second part, or the first chapter, is actually available in a day. So the prologue is kicking things off pretty quickly. So theoretically, see you in another day or so, friends, to start unraveling the code of the Legacy Antigen. I hope you enjoyed this first chapter. I really like their change up in style. I love that they've managed to bring Gel on board properly. And I'm psyched to see us really digging back into that high concept sci-fi nonsensery to kick things off. Already really promising. R.I.P. Angela Fazia. Hopefully your death will not be in vain. Thank you for staying with me, friends. I've been Euclidean Vision, the emotional support. Take care of yourselves out there, teammates. Wear a mask, and may the glorious light of Beskil shine within you. Bye-bye.